Okay, let's go to work. Let's go to work. Hold on. All right, so you've got an acrostic poem. Um, Typically, looking at an acrostic, you use one single word. I'm asking you to use your name in the acrostic. Okay, so like for mine, if I were to use just my name, I think I have an advantage when I just think of my name in the terms of just my 4 letters. Having a shorter acrostic may not be an advantage because you need a quote, you need a simile, you need an onomatopoeia, and you need to have 3 of your interests listed because that's what the directions say, right? Hold on a minute. It says directions, using your name, create an acrostic poem using words that describe you, things you like or ideas you may have, other items that need to be included somewhere on your paper, a quote that you like or represents something you believe in, a picture. The picture does not have to be something you already have in your list, but it might be. It might go along with your quote. It might be the person that has the quote. It could be that you love dogs, right? And that could be one of your parts of your poem. Now, these don't need to rhyme. Notice it is nothing about rhyming. So in this acrostic poem, it's literally just matching up those letters, okay? One of the following items included needs to be described in a simile. So maybe you could have your interest of like, or one of your interests that you like or dislike. Dogs smell like rotten onions. Dogs smell like sweaty animal. Okay. What does a simile have to have? Like or as, and it has to do what? Has to compare 2 things that may not be alike. Okay. It has to compare 2 things that may not be alike. All right. And then it also has to have an onomatopoeia. What if my quote uses an onomatopoeia? Would that count as my onomatopoeia? Yeah, it just has to be included. Then one of the things you have to have is a quote that helps describe you or personality from anywhere. Could be from a famous athlete, could be just a quote that you like. Like my quote at the bottom of my emails, if you've ever noticed, I have to pull it up real quick because I hardly ever remember. Frightened, child, you're talking to a man who's laughed in the face of death, sneered at doom, and chuckled at catastrophe. I was petrified. The whole thing starts with, I was frightened. Yes, I was frightened. If it's in dangerous situations or if it's something that is above what you're comfortable with, you should be scared. But that's okay. You're still there and you're still fighting through it. That's what the whole quote's about. It's from The Wizard of Oz. The wizard says it. It's one of the funniest lines in the entire movie, and it's often glanced over. It's one of my favorite things. It's okay to be scared. It's okay to be wrong. That's what the whole quote's about. Okay? It does describe what I do in the classroom, what I do. It's fine to be scared. It's fine to be nervous. That's good. Okay? But since it starts with F, can I put it in my name? Like I said, it's pretty limiting. Could I, if I have a shorter name, I don't know, like Noah, could I use, or Levi, could I use my last name to actually help expand my acrostic and make it easier for me? A medium-sized name like a Kingston is a pretty good. Bueller is a good name to be using. Maybe Helena over Lloyd, because like I just said, Lloyd's very limited. I've never been able to say that to another student, just so we're on the same page. So it's pretty exciting for me. Okay. But you may need, what's that? So what if you wanted to use your first and middle name? What if you wanted to use your first and last name? That's fine. More letters actually makes an acrostic a little bit easier. Because remember, you have to have 3 interests that you have as well, or 3 of the following items: favorite food, favorite hobbies, color, favorite song or artist, favorite TV show or movie. You just have to pick 3 from that list. Now, could I also, if I don't have, my quote starts with frightened, could I possibly could I have my acrostic be my first? It can also be short. I usually go by Michael, but I could use it. Now, it still doesn't start with an F though. But let's also think of it this way. Could I go with, hold on. Could I go with frightened, right? And then could I indent everything else or space everything else to where it lines up with my eye? Yes, I could. That is an option. If you're creative with this, it's possible that you can tweak this and make it look different. It's okay if an acrostic is not just one word all the way down. As a matter of fact, you don't want to just use one word. You've got to be creative with this because I'm making you do other things. I'm making you have a simile, onomatopoeia. Okay? What are onomatopoeias again? Whoa, easy. Why are you blowing things up? Gracie could almost mean loud. All right. So your acrostic poem, you can get creative with the way that you set it up. I've seen acrostic poems run diagonally. Okay, where the first letter is not always what you're starting with, right? That you can actually offset it all the way down with capitals. If you do that, highlight the letters you're going to do. If I were doing it like this for me, I would probably highlight the letters for my acrostic. That I would highlight my M-I-K-E and then my L-O-Y-D. And then you can be real creative with it. In 3 of those interests off that list I have for you, and you have to include a picture, it's in the directions. So the connecting thing for it to make sense is that this is all about you. So it's automatically going to make sense because it's about you. Does that make sense? Again, if you can do as many of your the letters of your name as you want to. Like if you want to go by Bay Pemberton, I wouldn't because you do have a great first name. But like Chase, you may run into where you don't have enough letters in Chase. So you could go by your last name, right? You could use your last name just as an option. Maybe Chase is enough for you to get everything accomplished. Okay. Cook probably would be limiting, whereas Kirsten would not be, right? Wilder Crump, sorry, you may have to double up. Matthew, you've got an ideal name because both your last and first name are both somewhat lengthy, right? Brandon, you're in a good boat too. Levi, I think Heacock might be a little bit stronger than Levi, unless you go by like first, what's your middle name? Levi David would be great. That's a great combination in names.
Remember when everyone used to be scared of saying their middle name? Did you ever do that? Like everyone's like, oh my God, I'll tell you my biggest secret. Or no, I'll tell you my middle name and you tell me.
Any questions? Any other questions about the acrostic? Yep. Whatever picture relates to you. Like in my brain, I probably would use the picture of whoever is giving the quote. That's what I have in my brain. Like I would attach the wizard from Wizard of Oz because he's also one of my favorite characters in literature. Okay. Any other questions? No other questions about your acrostic? Okay, Tanner, go. Maybe focusing on those questions instead of waving out the door. Oh, which part? Don't say all of it. You got to be specific. Have you read the directions? That'll help because we just covered the directions while you were out in space. All right. As you have questions, don't hesitate to ask. Yes, even you, Tanner, as you were out in space while I was describing everything.